Hi, this is Abbas Danani, and you can follow me on Instagram at Houston Eats with a Z.
This is David Leftwich, editor of Edible Houston and associate editor at Houston Food Finder.
I'm Eric Sandler, food editor for Culture Map. David, Abbas, I feel like I have to give the standard disclaimer for this month's topic because we're talking about chicken, and so I feel like I have to say to the audience in advance, yes, we know we could do an entire segment on fried chicken, we could do an entire segment on chicken soup, we could do an entire segment on roast chicken, chicken sandwiches, etc., but we're going to try to cover, we're going to hit the highlights. This is not all of the chicken, this is just some of the chicken, the best chicken.
Should we start with fried chicken and just get it out of the way?
I think fried chicken's a good way to start. Not a local Houston spot per se, but they've gained some following here. Gus's Fried Chicken, I believe, out of Memphis. One of my favorite places to get fried chicken here in Houston. Probably my go-to.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of. Well, it's a new place, and I really like the fried chicken at Gatlin's Fins and Feathers, which is the new place from Gatlin's Barbecue. Greg Gatlin up in Independence Heights, and the other stuff is good. Get some collard greens with it, and be sure to get the biscuits to go with that too. But it's really good fried chicken, and a really nice kind of comfortable spot for lunch or dinner.
All right, I guess my fried chicken is going to be La Lucha in the Heights. It's crispy, it's juicy, it comes with these fantastic biscuits and jam, and since this is Houston Public Media, located on the campus of the University of Houston, I feel like we should mention Frenchie's Fried Chicken, the local institution. They have a beautiful new restaurant on Scott Street with a double drive-through. So it moves a little faster. If you're used to being in the drive-through line for 30 or 45 minutes at Frenchie's, you should check out the new location because they're moving people through a little more quickly than before.
The great thing about Houston, of course, we're kind of covering the Southern style fried chicken, but we have a lot of different types of fried chicken from a lot of different cultures. One of the ones I like is Xin Chow. It's a lemongrass buttermilk fried chicken, but they include some pandan rice flakes in it. So it's really crispy, and it's, it has a kind of a Vietnamese take on a traditional fried chicken dish.
You guys mentioned that we could do an entire segment on just fried chicken. I think we could do an entire segment on just like spin-offs on how different cultures use fried chicken. So I'm going to go Himalaya. They do a great job with their masala fried chicken. Definitely at the top of my list.
I'm glad you mentioned Himalaya because that for chicken eaters, like that might be one of the best options in the whole city. The other one that occurs to me is the Hara Masala, that like kind of green curry that Chef Kaiser makes with the tomatillos and the cilantro and the spices. I think that's a wonderful dish.
And no, absolutely. If we can stay on, ethnic fried chicken for a second, another very popular one, El Asil, Palestinian style fried chicken, comes on a bed of rice. Very, very delicious.
And they do a wonderful. They also do a wonderful roast chicken. That's another one of those restaurants where they take their chicken seriously.
Well, I guess we can't not mention Korean fried chicken. And I know there's several good spots. I kind of like one of the originals, which is Toriora in Korean, which is in the H Mart in Spring Branch. Really good, it's spicy, the double fried Korean fried chicken. It's really good. But I know they were kind of the first, but I know there's several other good places now that have opened.
Well, if we're going to do sort of different Asian style fried chickens, give me the General Tso's chicken, the wok fried chicken at the Rice Box. They just opened their new restaurant in Rice Village. They've got locations in the Heights and River Oaks too. So that's another one that's high on the list for me.
All right, is it too early to segue into fried chicken sandwiches?
No,
never.
No, do it.
So, we could, another segment we could do is just hot chicken, but I want to keep it a little more broad if that's all right. Blue Dorn does fried chicken, although you can't, it's not readily available. The spin-off pop-up concept by Chase and Cole of Blue Dorn, the Chicky Boys, they do one of the best chicken sandwiches I've ever had, and Trust me, I know by experience. And also, probably the best biscuit chicken sandwich I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. So just to be clear for people, that's a pop up that happens like every 2 or 3 weeks, and it sells out in 10 minutes. So if you want the best chicken sandwich a boss has ever had, you better be very online and very fast with your clicking.
Well, one the fried chicken sandwich I really like, and I just is the new spot up on 34th Street. It's Lulu's Day and Night, which is a collaboration between baker Alyssa Doyle, pastry chef Alyssa Doyle, and the Blood Brothers. They're doing, I mean, a really good chicken sandwich on it's big chicken breast, nice and crispy on their house made breads, which are really good.
You know, I recently tried Daddy's Chicken Shack in the Heights. It comes to Houston from LA. I was really impressed with the quality of the condiments. I think the different spice levels are good. You know, you can get it with the coleslaw on top. You can get it Nashville spicy. You can, they do it in different styles. But I thought it was a generous portion. I thought the chicken was really nicely cooked, and that was new for me and something I really enjoyed.
I'll throw out a chicken sandwich that's not fried that I like, and maybe this may not be a sandwich. That's probably debatable. But I really like the rotisserie chicken pita at Kraft Pita. It's really tender chicken. It comes with roasted potatoes, aioli, cabbage, nice pickles. Kraft Pita does everything really well, and that's a really good chicken dish.
Yeah, as you mentioned, just the dishes that come out of that rotisserie chicken, also the Lebanese tacos, the chicken pita. One of my favorites, the chicken bowl, very healthy and also very, very delicious.
Yeah, I want to, speaking of not fried chicken sandwiches, I'm going to go old school with this one. I'm going with Southwell's, the hamburger joint. They've got a couple locations around town. Give me the Larry's Special, their grilled chicken sandwich. It comes with the usual condiments and pickled jalapenos for a little heat.
Okay, well, I know where I'm going for lunch. I don't think we could have this segment without talking about Nashville hot chicken. I know you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but I'm going a joint out of Austin, Tumble 22. Probably my favorite hot chicken in the city.
Well, yeah, if we're going to do Nashville hot chicken, I think we have to mention Miko's in the Heights. That was kind of one of the first to kind of bring that flavor to Houston, and they've been just incredibly successful.
I want to talk about a chicken taco that I think is really good, and that's the smoked chicken verde taco at the Pit Room. Really good smoked chicken. They have this, add the grilled cheese, the charred garlic, and that combination on their house-made tortillas is pretty special. It's a really good chicken taco.
I'm going to piggyback off that one and say the smoked chicken enchiladas at Condente.
Yeah, also, their sister restaurant over there down the street.
Well, if we're gonna go Tex-Mex, then I got to mention the chicken fajitas at El Tiempo. Apparently, they are poached in butter. That's why they're so juicy and delicious. So usually, you think a chicken is the healthy option. This is not that tame, but it is. It is very juicy and very tasty.
Well, we haven't really talked about maybe fancier chicken dishes, really. We've been pretty on the casual, but I had one the other night that was really good, and that's the wood-grilled half chicken at Nancy's Hustle. Comes with sumac. It's topped with some really nice roasted shallots. Comes with a really good fennel aioli for dipping in it. A lot of times I actually, probably if I'm at a restaurant like that, I don't always get the chicken, but this chicken is really, this was a really good chicken dish.
Well, at Nancy's Hustle, they're currently running their chicken liver mousse, which is, kind of a side angle to this conversation, but it's super creamy, very decadent, a nice addition to any meal at Nancy's.
In a city full of different choices in food, I feel like we kind of lack in the chicken wings department. But if I'm going chicken wings, I'm going Feed This Barbecue.
They have good fried chicken, too. Their southern fried chicken is good, too.
I think Winnie's in Midtown does a really good job, and I think we talked about this a couple months ago when we were kind of doing game day eats, so I won't linger on that too long. But they have like a buffalo sauce and then like a lemon pepper, and I think there's a way to combine them off the menu if you ask nicely. And if I've goofed on that, then I apologize to Winnie's and anyone that I caused confusion. I want to come back to fancy roast chicken because David, you mentioned Nancy's Hustle, but there are a couple other options I feel like we have to hit. For me, of course, there's Ostia, the Italian restaurant in Montrose. Their chicken with lemon and salsa verde. It's always got the crispy skin and the juicy meat, and that bright salsa verde just cuts it all really, really well. And then recently I was back at Theodore Rex in the Warehouse District downtown, They do a roast chicken with a French curry. It's not really spicy. It's more kind of savory, but it's a fun spin on the roast chicken.
We can have a segment about chicken and not mention one of Houston's staples, Breakfast Club, chicken and waffles.
Yep, that's on my list. I was gonna, if somebody didn't mention that here at the end, I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, that's definitely a classic. And you know, that fried chicken and waffle combo is it's well worth the wait on a weekend morning.
I want to go in a completely different direction. I want to talk about Rooster and Rice. This is up in Garden Oaks, conveniently next to Lulu's that David mentioned. They do Khao Man Gai, which is like a sort of Chinese Thai style poached chicken, and it's pretty mild, but there's so much chicken fat in the rice that comes with it that it's like pure comfort food.
There's one that I need to mention. Literally my favorite, if not one of my favorite top chicken dishes in Houston, and I guess we're saving best for last for me. El Mana Pollo Asado on Airline. I know I've mentioned that on this segment a few times, but it's a food truck that lays out a charcoal grill. As you're driving by, you just see hundreds of butterfly chickens on this grill. It's marinated in some Mexican spices, comes with a side of tortillas, rice, jalapenos, grilled onions. Absolutely delicious. And I always go out of my way to mention this place because I feel like it doesn't get nearly enough love as it should.
I'm going to go back towards sandwiches. This is one of the things I didn't get to mention when we were talking about sandwiches is the crunchy chicken sandwich at Local, which has kind of become it's, you know, just a, you know, roasted chicken breast that's mixed in with this nut seed crumble and potato chips on a nice bun. And, you know, you can get the sides. It's kind of like you get the semblance of being healthy, but also getting some crunch like you would get in a fried chicken sandwich. So that's always a good option for lunch around town at one of their locations around town.
All right, last one for me. My favorite way to eat chicken is chicken parmesan, and the one at Louis Italian American on the East End is really good, really crispy, really gooey. The tomato sauce is great, so that's a new favorite of mine.
So as usual on this show, we've only scratched the surface of all the kind of tasty chicken dishes in Houston, but hopefully that will give people some places to start on some variety of different chicken dishes here in Houston, and hopefully you guys will all come up with some of your own favorites as well.
Hi, this is Abbas Danani, and you can follow me on Instagram at Houston Eats with a Z.
This is David Leftwich, editor of Edible Houston and associate editor at Houston Food Finder.
I'm Eric Sandler, food editor for Culture Map, and you're listening to Houston Matters with Craig Cohen.